Final topic, the Callisto Protocol, Helix Station. This really came out of nowhere, and it's been dubbed as a podcast series, but it is not a podcast series, folks. This is a proper dramatization, story-based, episodic series based in the world of the Callisto Protocol, and it has a absolute banger cast. Gwendoline Christie, you may know her as Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones, and none other than Sam Fisher himself. The legend that is Michael Ironside are the two leads in this series. I listened to the first one today, and I am hooked on this. It is fantastic. The production is stellar, and it's just brilliant. So a little bit of synopsis for you. It says, in the year 2320, a skip tracer hunts down a dangerous escaped criminal on a derelict space station. In the process, she must confront murderous alien forms as well as unspeakable horrors from her past. Starring Gwendoline Christie and Michael Ironside, presented by Striking Distance Studios, creator of the game, The Callisto Protocol. And I believe it's on all platforms,
Like
Apple
everything,
Podcasts,
yeah.
Amazon Music, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, whole bunch, and there's an RSS feed as well. 3 episodes are out just now. They're about 25 to 20, between 22 and 25 minutes long, and it was fantastic. Anyway, I just heard the first one today, and what a great surprise, and what a genius bit of marketing strategy to create something like this and actually get it out before the game is out, and because the game's only out next month, like a matter of like 3 weeks, 4 weeks is out, and you've got this to build anticipation and hype and excitement for it. Have either of you had a chance to check out the series yet? Oh, Sarah's on the way.
Yep. I've listened to all 3 episodes so far. It is so good. And as someone who, as part of Uncanny Collective, my theatre company, we also produce a podcast, which is an anthology horror. And to have something that is akin to that and to listen to some absolute pros nail the sound design and the performance element of it is so cool to listen to. And I was talking earlier about anything that's a companion to a game is great, and I love and especially when it's done well, and this podcast is done exceptionally well. My only tiny little gripe, I think Gwendolyn is absolutely phenomenal in this, but it feels like it might have originally been written for an American voice actor, because
Interesting.
occasionally some of the dialogue is it sounds a little odd in her exceptionally wonderful English accent. Like I think at one point she says, she's meant to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't speak asshole," but she says, "I'm sorry, I don't speak asshole," and I'm like,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
it's a little clunky. That is my only gripe with it. It's just occasionally it sounds like it would have flowed a little nicer if it was an American voice actor, or if they'd said to Gwendolyn, "Make it your own, make it sound like you,"
Yeah.
because
Yeah. A
like the
producer would have done that. You would have thought if the
you
producer
would
was
have
in the
thought,
room reading the lines, just change that to
yeah,
an English version of the word.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think also there's a point where she says, "What gives?" and I'm like, some things just don't sound right in her accent. And I think maybe they just didn't think that through enough, like, because the performance is so good. Like, this is just me being really nitpicky because this is something that I do a lot of. But performances are amazing, casting is amazing, um, and the first episode is so full on as well. There's a lot that goes on. You get peppered into a lot of this amazing story in this world that we're going to have in the game, which I'm super excited about. But like, there's action, there's emotion, there's some really nice backstory for this lead character that Gwendolyn's playing, Percy. Um, yeah, it's so good. I would absolutely recommend it. And also takes up 25 minutes of your time. It was perfect while I was on the train yesterday, just
Yeah.
listening to an episode on my way out, on the way back, and then just sitting in my living room with my headphones on, being terrified because it's also got a 3D sound, so you can hear things happening all around you, which is super cool, really immersive, and very creepy.
Yeah. Jamie.
I mean, we've talked about Callisto Protocol on the show before. The game looks phenomenal, and this is one of my favorite mediums for stuff to tie into other franchises. Is via like audiobook, audio play, narrative podcast, that sort of. So I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. I'm absolutely going to. Gwendolyn Christie, I don't actually know her that well because I haven't watched Game of Thrones, and I know she is Phasma, but I haven't caught up on Star Wars yet either because I'm very behind on stuff. I do remember that she was in Wizards vs. Aliens on CITV, so,
Wow. Okay.
yeah, just deep diving. I don't know why that's locked in my head, but Michael Ironside, I love. I think he's got a very distinctive voice and style, and he's done some really great stuff. So yeah, I will absolutely listen to it, and I think the narrative podcast idea is just great anyway. Like it's always brilliant. There's a couple I've listened to over the years. I tend to most of my podcast listening is fairly sort of familiar because it's my like decompression stuff. So I listen to an awful lot of like the Attitude Era podcast about wrestling, and it's just they're very funny guys who are very passionate about things. Like that's my go to for stuff. But definitely, like some of the narrative ones I've listened to over the years, one of my favorites was like the Thrilling Adventure Hour, particularly like Beyond Belief with Paget Brewster, and it's hilarious and it's well written, and again, it's got a stellar cast, and it just it's a very immersive format. And it's very fun, and like Sarah said, it's great because you can just stick your headphones in and have it anywhere. So yeah, I'll be going through all 6 episodes of this absolutely before I get into the game. But not yet, unfortunately. I haven't had a chance to check it out, but very excited for it. Looks really good.
It must have been such a fun thing to maybe pitch to. I guess you're pitching it to the developers, right? A marketing agency is probably saying, like, what can we do to promote this game? And they're just spitballing ideas and thinking, okay, what's our budget? Okay, we've got quite a healthy budget to really promote this. Let's get some of our favorite actors and do a proper dramatic play. And it's going to be a audio only series, and it opens the door for other things. You can imagine quite easily this being a comic book series or a short anime series, and other things can easily come out of that. And again, we've already shared our love for games and IPs that can spider out into other mediums and really capitalize on the fan base for the written word, animations, movies, games, all that kind of stuff. When it all kind of branches out like that, it's hugely exciting to see where it can go. And I think this is such a cool thing to be a part of, to be able to produce as well. It's like, awesome. Like, just really, really well done. I wasn't expecting it at all. I just thought, what a great surprise that was when I saw it on Twitter promoting it. I thought, oh my God, they've got a little podcast series, dramatic series. I love it. Brilliant. Check it out. 25 minutes. Cost you nothing.
Hopefully it does well, because it would be nice to see, there's definitely, especially for some of the, indie games and stuff, it doesn't have to be huge names, so to speak, because there are so many fantastic, well, we have one with us, but there's so many fantastic voice actors who could do this sort of thing brilliantly. It'd be a great marketing tool, and you'd get some really good stories come out of it. So, yeah, if it does well, maybe we'll see more devs, taking a shot at it.
I hope so.
And then
I really hope
Sarah
so.
getting lots of work.
Yes, please.
Absolutely. Cast Sarah in everything you possibly can.